Hello. What's really fun about the word of the day is it works for life and it works for writing. But you do the opposite thing. When you're using it for writing, you want to create more conflict, and when you're using it for your life, you want to resolve conflicts. So one of the ways to work with the word of the day, especially if you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling wonderful, is trying to find out what that feeling is like. And sometimes you don't know, you sort of have this bad feeling in your back, or your ear hurts. It doesn't have to be let me take it aside. Many writers have trouble identifying their emotions. Many people do. So rather than, again, this is a new hack, instead of trying to identify your emotion, identify what the feeling of it is. And the feeling could be, a frozen lake. The feeling could be, seeing a dead animal on the street or something. It's much easier when you work in images because that part of your mind. Now, as a writer, you all know that visual writing is critical. And if you don't know it as a regular person, it is much easier to talk in metaphors because people get it. A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? A journey begins with a single step. All of these so-called cliches are actually images that can be repurposed. So for here, what we want to do as a writing prompt is we want to work with the word image because we're out of practice. And so you're going to write image in your circle, and there's a little diagram here. And then if you don't have paper, you can just make 4 or 5 circles around the main circle and attach them. Make sure there's room enough to write in them. And now you're going to close your eyes. And we'll take a deep breath, and we'll raise our arms overhead. And this is called gathering. And gathering means everything outside your arms and your hands is not you. So in this space, you're making like a creativity pod, if you like, where you can just be yourself. You can ignore everything that's in your mind except what you're working on. So with the word image, what you would do is take a breath. And you're going to do a self-hug in which you put your hands on your shoulders. And either you close your eyes or you look into a mirror and you say, I love you, and your name. We'll always be together. We'll always be safe. And if you want to add something that's more of a traditional affirmation, you can add, and I will easily solve the problem that I am having through this process. And then you breathe and you smile. And when you smile, you send a shot of dopamine to your brain, which cheers you up. And then the word is image. You can't go wrong, right? So just close your eyes and think of the first image that comes up. And it doesn't really matter what it is because you're always going to get where you need to go, just like life. So let's say that your image is a forsythia bush like the one behind me, and that's what comes into your mind. Then the next image is, well, where did you see that perhaps? And you describe, being upstate in the mountains. And then that next image provokes you to that time when you were there for a chorus meeting when you were 16 and you met someone and it was very tragic and you kissed behind the pew and you never saw them again. Now, what is good or bad about what we just did? The answer is you just created a story. Wow, that's all it takes. Now, the way that the brain is hardwired is that when you create a story, it gives you a little applause because you've created something that wasn't there before. Same way, even if I was just at Friends and my friend's husband cooked me this incredible breakfast. And it was like an event, and I sat down and I said, wow, this would cost at least $32 in a restaurant. And that was an act of creation. That was a story that didn't exist before we did that. So if you accept how creative you are, then your ability to do storytelling, whether it's in life or in writing, suddenly changes how you relate. Because remember, what is it that our Creator does, whether or not you're an atheist? Right? Even if you don't believe in them, guess what it does? It creates. So when you create, you are doing the thing that is the most basic human and non-human event, which is to create something new. So there are a series of prompts that I like, and I'll include a couple here. So I like image because image is very generative. I like love. I like summer. I like colors. I especially like yellow as a color, but you could use any color that you like. But this process of gathering, self-hug, breathing, really committing to being able to do an act of creation, whether you're thinking about a recipe or your next golf play or a book or a movie, this is our true nature. And the word of the day helps you get into the space where you are working from your deepest, most spiritual creativity without any effort and without any woo-woo stuff. It takes 6 minutes and you're done. Try it. And if you enjoy the conversation, join us on social media. And even if you feel like doing this for 30 days, we have a challenge.